Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Our next guest is with a British-American audio innovation company that invites listeners to hear what you've been missing. And they do a really good job at that. The brand and product manager for Helm Audio is Christopher Heille. Chris, welcome Into Tomorrow. Thanks for coming on. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Dave. And yourself?
We're doing fine. Much better after the tropical storm that literally ruined our control room. So we're doing things on whether they call it shoestrings, Band-Aids, gaffer's tape, whatever it takes. But we're making
triage production, right?
Exactly, a triage production. But we're making it work. Tell me a little bit about Helm Audio for those who may not be familiar. And then I want to get into some of the very cool products, many of which we use as well.
Oh, yeah, great. Helm Audio is a company that's founded by a former Navy pilot and a British marketer, and so we have a very interesting background. Both guys had a deep passion for audio, and what's kind of transpired, they both have histories in Asia. Long-term histories in Asia, both in product development and then also just in kind of biz dev, partnering relationships. And what's spawned out is the ability to kind of crank out passion projects that also have a very consumer-friendly, higher audio quality kind of bar set to them, but we're not necessarily out to sting you with audiophile prices. It costs a lot of money sometimes to find headphones that you love. The interesting thing about the Helm Audio products is I came into the company kind of as a skeptic. I didn't come into the company as a skeptic. I was won over, but a colleague of mine started working with them. He said, "You got to hear this stuff." And I was like, "There's no way. Like at these price points, there's no way that quality can be hit." And I was stunned. The Helm Audio stuff, I was a fan before I started working for them. So there's some really interesting product ideas. It's some interesting stuff that we're shipping. We've won some awards last year at CES for products. We've got some other stuff coming out soon that will be interesting too. Kind of furthers some of those idea cycles for listening in general.
What have been some of your most popular products to date? The kinds of things that people just are telling you, man, this is awesome, I can't live without it. It really has improved my audio life.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's the simple stuff that gets people. Like this product's been around the longest. I'll hold this up to the camera. These are our Helm Audio True Wireless 5 headphones. This is the second rev of this product. It's a Bluetooth True Wireless. And they sound like an over-the-ear headphone in terms of frequency response. So if you have a pair of kind of bigger, over-ear headphones that you've loved, that when you go to a true wireless earbud, you miss something, the bottom's not there. There's something that you're unhappy with about that. These True Wireless 5s, they just sound big. They kind of have a bold sound. They also fit extremely well. So if you're doing activities, I've got a number of friends who've picked these up and they're just like, I don't know what I did running or working out or lifting weights. The True Wireless 5 is a really, really cool product. It just sounds good. It also fits really well for if you're an active, if you're using, I use the True Wireless 5s every day. As just running, I actually sleep with one in.
You sleep with one of them? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I do sleep with one of these in, and it's just generally like I'm one of those guys that if I'm awake, my brain's working. So I generally listen to a very boring podcast, or sometimes I'll just like find a YouTube documentary and just like turn it off. But I can fit one in, and it stays in all night for the most part, unless I'm really having some active dream. It's there and it's stationary. I wake up in the morning and it's still there. The great thing too is that they have great battery life. We do have a charging case that they come with that gives you like an additional 5 or 6 charges, depending on your kind of how loud you listen to and whatnot. But I've had no problem going 6 to 8 hours on
Nice.
those earbuds. The other thing is that those True Wireless 5s, they really, and this is kind of indicative of all the Helm products that we use that have like an earbud design. We really concentrate on making sure that that seal is really, really good. A lot of people get excited about noise cancellation as a technology, but the best noise cancellation you can do is actually sealing the ear canal very well. And it's a passive noise cancellation, but what's amazing is we've had people say, I use these in place of like an earplug in a noisy work environment. When we test it, we're not OSHA rated here, but we've had a 30 to 40 decibel difference between like when you have them, when you're just exposed to noise and you put them in. What we've measured on our internal stuff is like, it's a pretty steep drop off, which means the stuff just sounds good because you're not getting all of the ambient stuff kind of leaking past the headphone.
Yeah.
So because of that, you do get the big bass. It's also great if you travel, and not a whole lot of people are doing that in 2020, but on an airplane, the True Wireless 5s, like they kind of make the world go away, especially if you're doing a long international flight.
And what a difference it is to not have to wear bulky headphones, because especially as you brought up an awesome point where people are saying, yeah, but man, everything sounded so good with those bigger headphones. I just don't want to have to wear them all the time, especially on a flight. Maybe you can lean over and doze off or lean against the window or something. Hard to do with big headphones on, but you can easily do that with these earbuds that deliver, apparently, we have to try some, the same quality sound. I mean, that's terrific.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like there are some activities you can't do with big headphones.
Yeah.
You can't run with. I mean, you could try, but I don't want to wear a big pair of headphones around if I'm running.
Yeah, if you're out jogging, it not only looks odd, but it's just cumbersome. It's just not the way to go.
Yeah, and we have another pair of headphones that are really, really, really interesting, and these headphones are and I'm going to hold them up to the camera. They feel a little odd, but these are our triple driver HD sports band. So this is a really interesting first because it's a wireless product that has 3 drivers in each headphone. So you get a dedicated bass, mid-range, and treble driver. I'm speaking to you on the sports band right now. This product was a killer for me of a certain very popular white headphone. This sports band has a 25-hour battery, and it sounds amazing. The triple driver thing is legit. It has deep, great bass, but then really wonderful clarity all the way up through the audio spectrum audibly. The 25-hour battery and the inline mic, it's just like, it's the simplicity of what happens. The inline microphone and the ability to pop this thing on, I can put it on, turn it on. If I'm not using it, it's not necessarily draining that battery. So I can charge this, and this is not an exaggeration. I can charge it and I can wear it for a week, sometimes longer, without having to recharge it. Just taking average calls, maybe doing a daily bike ride. It's my favorite headphone for that kind of stuff. I pop it on, I turn it on, I wear it throughout the day. If I take a call, I can drop an earpiece in. You can't lose them. It's on a neckband design, so it does have connecting wires to each headphone. But that 25-hour battery was what cinched it for me. It was just like, it's convenient, it sounds amazing, and I was a big proponent of other true wireless headphone products for just having around for making calls. And the sports band was like, I had it for a week and I gave my white headphones away. I was just like,
good.
Because the more I heard the sports band, the more upset I was getting with the white headphones. I was just like, I'm done.
You mean those hockey sticks?
Awesome.
You're talking about those hockey sticks, the white hockey sticks that you see people walking around with?
Yeah.
I'd rather
and I don't have any qualms about that company or the
No. Some people like to eat apples and drink the Kool-Aid and stuff. And obviously the microphone on the sports band works very well too, because we can hear you well. And those listening on the radio, not yet seeing the video, just be sure to visit intotomorrow.com and you'll see the interview with Chris from Helm Audio and the products that we're showing. I'm holding up a box now of the DB12, and I wonder, do you call it an amp because it's AAAMP, or is it just the DB12 amp? And tell us how this is very effective. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and hold one up for the camera here. This is a DB12 amp. We just call it the amp. And the reason why it has 3 A's is because it uses THX's AAA technology. AAA technology is very new and very interesting. And just so people understand, this is an amplifier that is no bigger than the size of like a car key fob.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a great way to describe it on the radio. It's really very, very small, but it's an inline amplifier, right?
It's an inline amplifier for headphones. So if you've got a smartphone or a laptop that has a 3.5 millimeter output, this is a great product for you. If you don't, you can run down to a big box store and get any of the Lightning or USB-C adapters. But this amplifier is incredible because it does a 12 decibel boost without distortion when you turn it on. So we always tell people, this is the big problem is that for the most people that have a smartphone and they have a pair of headphones that they really love listening to music on, but their smartphone, the amplifier circuit is really designed to be small, to be battery efficient, and to not interfere with other issues within the phone. So largely, it's a compromised design. The DB12 amp fixes that because THX's AAA technology literally uses feed-forward air correction. So it takes a look at the signal on the input, and then it makes calculations and applies all of the power kind of in the output stage, whereas a traditional amplifier kind of uses cycles. Every cycle ends up adding to the distortion. THX's AAA technology is really different. Our DB12 amp is the smallest use of that THX AAA technology. And then we also have an additional 6 decibel bass boost that does not interfere with the EQ curve. So a lot of products that have bass boosts, as soon as you turn it on, basically what you've done is they've either clicked in like a passive bass control that now kind of the whole EQ curve has tilted.
Yeah.
This is really, really focused bass. It does not interfere with the rest of kind of the audio output. We tell users to turn their headphone or turn their smartphones, if they're using with a smartphone or a laptop, turn their volume down to 50% before you turn the unit on, because 12 decibels is a massive gain increase.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's huge. I mean, traditional electronics engineers, will tell you like to get to a 3 dB increase, you have to increase your power by 50%. We're going 12 dB using this technology, and what ends up happening is that people who love headphones, people who love, they're missing something and they know it with their smartphone, but they can't get away from the convenience of it. The DB12 makes them fall back in love with their, in some cases, their older stuff. Sometimes they have newer stuff. We get reports of some of these over-the-ear headphones that ship with a Bluetooth chip and a wired option that they're like astounded because they're like, whoa, I didn't know I was missing so much over Bluetooth, which is a wonderful technology, but you cannot compete with the wire. It's like, I've had a favorite Australian electronics engineer tell me, when it's on a wire, you own all that real estate. It's
good
not
point.
Like over the air where everybody else is in it. So.
Yeah, good point. And
the DB12 is an amazing product. It has a USB-C charger. You can get 6 to 8 hours of use out of it. It also has inline controls, so you can play pause, volume up, volume down, skip song forward, skip song backward, that kind of stuff. But it is incredibly tiny. It's the size of a key fob. And for that, a lot of people love it. If you're in the audiophile space at all, you know that some of these mobile headphone amps look like a pack of cigarettes that you rubber band to your phone. This is not that. This is something that sits on a cable, looks like just kind of like a bigger inline controller for a wired headphone.
Terrific. And it doesn't require software or an app like a lot of others do, so you don't have to be fidgeting with anything else. You just plug this in and you're good to go.
And exactly. And that's kind of the other thing is that if you're kind of a purist it is all analog technology.
Yeah.
So there's nothing digital aside from what THX is doing in the circuit. There's nothing digital that connects to your phone. It doesn't require pairing. It doesn't require any of that stuff.
And who would think these days that we really want to get away from some of that digital stuff that tends to not allow us to enjoy our favorite music as well?
Yeah, well, and it's a thing, falling back to the sports band and the DB12 amp, there is something about simplicity. And if a design is simple and it just works, then it just works. You can't, no matter, yes, we could write an app for that, but then you're constantly updating the app.
Right,
Nothing against apps.
And there's no need. The DB12 doesn't need it.
Some software in development now.
Yeah. And we're fast running out of time, but this is fascinating, and there's so much more to talk about. But tell me about the Bolt really quick and THX certification with that. What's the Bolt all about?
Yeah, so I'm holding up the Bolt here to the camera. The Bolt literally looks like it's slightly bigger than, if you have a Lightning or a USB-C adapter to a 3.5 millimeter output for headphones for your smartphone or computer. The Bolt is just slightly bigger than that. The Bolt is a digital analog converter. And so if you have a smartphone that, that doesn't have a headphone output, the Bolt would be a very high-end product to step that signal down, to analog from your phone or from your laptop. But what the Bolt really shines at is that it is a very, very high resolution digital analog converter. So we can support bitrate playback all the way up to 384 kilohertz. But the stinger on this is that there's a technology out of the UK called Master Quality Authenticated, or MQA. And I literally learned of MQA May of 2019 and said, there's no way that this thing is legit. What MQA does is it takes very, very high bandwidth audio masters and makes them streamable in an MP3 footprint. But you need hardware that can render that back. You can't just pull that off of a smartphone and get the full resolution back. The Helm Audio Bolt is an MQA adapter, does full MQA rendering. It sounds shockingly good. Nice. Unbelievably. I listened to Tori Kelly's record from last year on the first time. I am an audio engineer. I make records. I do production and songwriting and stuff. I got scared. I was like, I got to step my game up if this is going to be that revealing. It's an amazing thing. You can go to mqa.co.uk and look at their technology. The Bolt is available now. It sounds incredible, and I can't stress that enough. It's a USB-C input to a 3.5 millimeter output.
Chris, there's so much more to talk about. We got to get you back on again soon because we barely scratched the surface about the cool stuff. HelmAudio.com is where we want to invite our audience to visit. And of course, we'll get you there when you visit us at IntoTomorrow.com. Chris, the brand and product manager with Helm Audio, Chris Heille, thanks so much, Heille, for joining us because the fascinating stuff. Keep making the cool audio products. Obviously, being in radio, it's in our heart as well. Audio is what it's all about, and you guys keep making things sound even better.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. Looking forward to it next time.
It's our pleasure. I'm Dave Graveline. We continue bringing you further into tomorrow right here on the Advanced Media Network. Don't go away.